You are already in bed when the rain begins to settle into its quiet rhythm. It does not fall heavily tonight. It only drifts against the window in a soft, steady hush, as though the dark garden outside is breathing in its sleep. The room around you is still and comfortable. Your blankets feel light, your pillow cool, and somewhere nearby, a small lamp leaves a gentle pool of warmth in the corner of the night. There is nothing you need to do now, nothing to finish, nothing to carry, only the sound of the rain and the slow, quiet feeling of the day slipping further away. You turn your attention toward the window. Raindrops gather there in silver lines, catching the faint light before sliding softly down the glass. Beyond them, the garden is dark and blurred, its shapes half hidden in the midnight blue. The curtain stirs only slightly, moving with the quiet breath of the room. Everything feels softened by the hour. The edges of familiar things have gentled. The world has become calmer, dimmer, and far less demanding than it was before the night arrived. And as you listen, the rain begins to sound less like weather, and more like a lullaby meant only for you. You sink a little deeper beneath the covers. The weight of the blanket settles over you in the most reassuring way, light enough to be comfortable, but present enough to make you feel held. Your breathing begins to slow without effort. The mattress beneath you feels warm and familiar. You notice how peaceful it is to simply lie here, awake but unhurried, with no need to force sleep to come. Sometimes the gentlest nights are the ones when nothing at all is expected of you. Only rest, only quiet, only the simple comfort of being still while the rain keeps watch beyond the glass. In the soft light, the room seems kinder than it does by day. The corners are full of shadow, though not the heavy kind. These are easy shadows, quiet ones, the kind that make a place feel sheltered. A plant spills gently from a nearby shelf. The lamp glows low and golden. The rain continues at its own patient pace. You take in these small details as though you are seeing them for the first time. Not because they are new, but because the night has made them softer, simpler, and easier to love. Even ordinary things seem restful at this hour. As you gaze toward the window once more, you notice something new. At first, it seems no more than a trick of reflection, a faint tint in the darkness beyond the rain, a soft green brightness, so gentle that you almost miss it. It does not flash or shimmer. It simply lingers somewhere low in the garden, as though a light has quietly awakened among the leaves. You watch for a moment, expecting it to vanish, but it remains, steady, calm, a secret sort of glow, waiting without asking anything of you. You look a little more carefully now. The green glow is still there, softened by the rain on the window pane. It is not bright enough to disturb the night. In fact, it seems to belong to it perfectly. It rests in the darkness like something patient and natural, as though it has always been there. And only tonight have you noticed it. A curious feeling begins to stir in you, though it is a peaceful kind of curiosity. There is no urgency in it, only a gentle wondering, a sense that the garden outside may be holding a quiet invitation. You slowly sit a little higher against the pillows. The blanket rustles softly around you, and the room remains as calm as ever, untouched by any feeling of interruption. It is as though the night itself expects this small moment of noticing. The rain continues. The glow outside waits. And you feel no alarm, only the mild and dreamy sense that there may be somewhere peaceful to go, just beyond the reach of the glass. The kind of place that can only be found when the world has gone quiet enough to reveal it. The kind of place that belongs to midnight. You let your feet find the floor. The air in the room is cool but gentle, and the soft surface beneath you feels grounding and real. For a moment you simply sit there, listening. Rain, silence, breath, the small sounds of a sleeping house. You are in no hurry to stand, and yet something about the night makes rising feel easy. Not like waking fully, but like stepping deeper into a dream that has been waiting just at the edge of your thoughts. The glow outside remains faint, but certain, and you decide, very quietly, to follow it. You stand slowly, gathering the quiet around you like a shawl. The bedroom behind you remains warm and peaceful, a place you will return to later. For now, it feels as though the night is gently leading you onward. The house is still asleep. Even the rain seems careful not to disturb anything. You take one last glance toward the window and the pale green light beyond it, and you feel that same calm curiosity settle more deeply in your chest. Not excitement, not urgency, only the simple wish to see what waits in the garden under the rain. You open the bedroom door, and the house greets you with silence. The hallway beyond is dim and still, full of the peaceful hush that only exists after midnight. Behind you, your room glows softly. Ahead, the darkness is mild and familiar. You move into it without hesitation, because tonight nothing feels uncertain. Each step seems already known to the house. The floor beneath you gives the smallest whisper. The air is cool and restful. And somewhere beyond these quiet walls, through rain and leaf and glass, the green glow continues to wait. The hallway feels longer than it does in daylight, though not in an unsettling way. At night, every home seems to stretch a little, as if making more room for stillness. You pass slowly through the darkened space, noticing how gentle everything has become. A wall, a doorway, a faint reflection in a pane of glass. At the far end, the night waits beyond another window, full of rain and soft shapes. The glow is not yet fully visible from here, but you can feel its presence, as though the garden itself has become quietly aware of you. You continue through the sleeping house, moving with the unhurried rhythm of someone who has nowhere else to be. Each step is easy. Each breath is slow. The rain never leaves you entirely, Even indoors you can hear its hush against distant glass and roof and leaf. It wraps the whole house in softness. You begin to feel as though you are being carried by the night rather than walking through it. Downward, forward, towards something waiting at the very edge of the garden and the edge of sleep. At last you come to the back door. Beyond it, the garden lies dark and shining with rain. The glass is cool and lightly misted. Drops cling to it like tiny pearls. Further out, between the wet outlines of shrubs and branches, you can now see the green glow more clearly. It is still soft, still distant, but unmistakable. It seems to rest somewhere near the far end of the garden, low and warm and strangely welcoming. You place your hand against the door for a moment, feeling the boundary between the quiet house and the waiting night. When you open the door, the night air meets you at once. It is cool, fresh, and touched with the scent of rain and leaves and damp earth. You pause just long enough to breathe it in. The garden smells alive. Not sharp, not wild, but green and clean and deeply calming. The rain has softened everything outside. The stone just beyond the threshold gleams faintly. Leaves hold beads of water. The darkness feels open and gentle. And ahead, the pale green light seems brighter now, as though it has noticed that you have finally stepped outside. You step into the garden. The stones beneath your feet are damp, their surfaces reflecting the faintest traces of light. Around you, the garden is full of quiet forms, leaves bent low with rain, flower beds dark with moisture, branches holding still in the night. Everything seems to be listening. The air is rich with the scent of soil and growing things, and with each slow step, you feel yourself becoming a little less awake in the ordinary sense, and a little more present in this midnight world, where the rain is soft, and the garden seems to breathe around you. A path begins to reveal itself before you. Stepping stones, darkened by the rain, curve gently through the garden as though they have been waiting for your feet to find them. You follow them at an easy pace. There is no need to hurry. The glow ahead grows a little clearer with every step, shining through the misted air and the leaves. Its colour is soft and natural, like moonlight passing through green glass. You begin to sense that the place you are walking toward is not only hidden, but peaceful in a deeper way, as though it has been made entirely out of rest. You pass close beside a row of rain-wet leaves, each one holding a glimmer of reflected light. Somewhere above, water falls from branch to branch in tiny, unhurried drops. The garden sounds different here, quieter, closer. The farther you walk, the more the night seems to gather itself around you, until all that remains is the path, the rain, your breathing, and the glow ahead. It no longer feels distant now. It feels near enough to touch, though still partly hidden by the soft shapes of shrubs and climbing plants. You know you are almost there. Then at last, through the softened veil of the garden, you see it. A greenhouse stands near the far end of the path, its glass walls shining gently in the rain. It is larger than you expected, though not grand. Its beauty lies in its quietness. Warm lantern light glows inside, mingling with the soft green radiance that first drew your eyes from the bedroom window. The panes are blurred here and there with condensation. Vines seem to wind lightly around its frame, and the whole glass house appears less like a building and more like a lantern left glowing in the heart of the garden for anyone who needs rest. You move closer until the greenhouse fills your view. Rain gathers on the glass roof and runs in silver threads down the panes. Inside, you can make out the shapes of broad leaves, hanging fronds, terracotta pots, and little pools of golden light cast by lanterns suspended from above. The warmth within seems almost visible, a soft brightness waiting just beyond the door. You slow your steps without meaning to, as though the hush of this place asks you to arrive gently. The handle is just ahead. The glow is all around you now. And for a moment, you simply stand and listen to the rain whispering against the glass. At last, you reach out and rest your hand on the door handle. It is cool from the rain, smooth beneath your fingers, and surprisingly familiar, as if you have opened this door many times before, in dreams you cannot quite remember. You ease it open, and warm air drifts out to meet you at once. It carries the scent of leaves, damp soil, blossoms, and something softly sweet that you cannot name. Inside, lantern light and green glow mingle among the plants, turning the whole interior into a place of quiet wonder. You step across the threshold. Behind you, the rain continues its gentle song. Ahead, the midnight greenhouse welcomes you in. The moment you step inside, the sound of the rain changes. Outside, it was open and cool, falling through leaves and darkness. In here, it becomes softer, rounder, caught by glass and wood and the deep green hush of growing things. The air is warm against your skin, gently humid, carrying the scent of wet leaves, soil, old stone, and quiet blossoms. You stand just inside the doorway for a moment, letting the greenhouse settle around you. Lanterns glow overhead, their golden light resting on the mist as though the air itself has become softly lit. Plants crowd the edges of the path, not wildly, but kindly, leaning close as if to welcome you in. Behind you, the door remains open to the rain. Ahead, the stone path continues deeper into the midnight greenhouse. You lift your gaze toward the roof. High above, the glass panes are dark with rain, each one holding tiny rivers of water that slide slowly toward the edges. Beyond them, the night is a deep blue, softened by mist and cloud. The lanterns hanging from the beams sway almost imperceptibly, though there is no strong wind in here. Their light gathers in warm pools among the leaves and then fades gently into green shadow. You notice the quiet pattern of it all. Rain above, warmth below, glass between the garden and the sky. The whole place seems to breathe in a slow and patient rhythm, as though the greenhouse has been waiting all night to become this peaceful. And standing beneath its glowing roof, you feel yourself quieten even more. you begin to walk. The stone path beneath your feet is damp and uneven in the gentlest way, each slab worn smooth by time and rain and careful footsteps. Terracotta pots sit close together along both sides, holding ferns, herbs, trailing vines, and plants with broad leaves that shine softly in the lantern light. Some leaves are so large that they bend over the path like green hands offering shelter. Others are fine and feathery, trembling slightly in the warm air. Everywhere there is life, but none of it feels restless. Nothing pushes or reaches too quickly. Everything simply grows, quietly and slowly, in its own perfect time. You let your pace match the greenhouse, unhurried, gentle, as if every step is another way of letting go. Beside you, the glass wall is misted with condensation. You pause close enough to see the tiny beads of water gathered there, each one catching a small piece of lantern light. Beyond the pane, leaves press softly from the other side, dark and wet from the rain. The outside world is near, but changed by the glass, blurred, gentled, made dreamlike. You watch a droplet grow heavier, tremble for a moment, then slip slowly downward, leaving a clear trail through the mist. It is such a small thing, and yet here, in the quiet, it feels enough to hold your attention completely. The greenhouse asks nothing more of you than this: to notice, to breathe, to let the night become simple. The path curves gently to the right, drawing you further in. From outside, the greenhouse seemed peaceful but modest, a small glass house glowing at the edge of the garden. But now, as you follow the stones, you begin to sense that it may be larger within than it appeared. The plants grow thicker here, though still welcoming. Lanterns hang at quiet intervals above the path, each one lighting only a small part of the way ahead. Between them, the soft green glow returns, shining from somewhere deeper among the leaves. It is not one single light, you realize. It is many gentle lights, hidden in stems and petals and pale leaves. The greenhouse is not merely lit, it is glowing from within. You come upon a small wooden workbench tucked beneath a row of hanging plants. It is worn and simple, its surface marked by years of soil, water, and patient hands. Terracotta pots are stacked neatly at one end. A folded cloth rests beside them. There are small tools, a shallow bowl of seeds, and a lantern glowing warmly enough to turn the wood honey gold. Nothing here seems abandoned. It feels more as though someone has just stepped away for a moment, leaving the place ready, calm, and cared for. You do not touch anything. You only stand there quietly, taking in the gentle order of it. Even the tools seem restful here, made not for labour, but for tending, for patience, for helping quiet things grow. A cluster of pale flowers grows beside the workbench. Their petals are open to the night, soft and white, each one holding the faintest green shimmer at its centre. They do not shine brightly. They glow the way moonlight glows on water, quietly and without effort. You lean a little closer, breathing in their delicate scent. It is sweet, but not strong, clean, gentle, and almost familiar. like something remembered from a dream. The flowers remain perfectly still, yet their presence seems to calm the air around them. You feel your shoulders loosen, your breathing deepens. The warmth of the greenhouse settles more comfortably around you, and for a few peaceful moments, there is only the glow of the blossoms, the rain on the glass, and the quiet opening of the night. You continue beneath a curtain of trailing vines. Their leaves hang in soft layers above you, catching droplets of water that glimmer like tiny stars in the lantern light. Some of the vines reach almost to shoulder height, but they part naturally around the path, leaving just enough room for you to pass. The air is warmer here, still and green. You can hear the rain tapping above, but it feels farther away now, as though the greenhouse is wrapping you gently in its own quiet weather. Everywhere you look, something small and peaceful is happening. A leaf uncurling, a droplet falling, a lantern burning steadily, a thread of mist drifting through the plants. You move slowly beneath the vines, and the world outside seems to fade another step behind you. The path opens beside a shallow stone basin filled with water. Its surface is dark and still at first, reflecting the lanterns above in long ribbons of gold. Then a drop falls from a leaf overhead, touching the water so lightly that the ripples seem almost reluctant to spread. Circle after circle moves outward, softening the reflections until the lanterns become trembling stars. You stand beside the basin and watch them settle. There is something deeply soothing about water in a quiet place. The way it receives every small movement, the way it returns to stillness without hurry. Around the basin, moss grows between stones, and ferns lean close as though listening. You breathe with the ripples, outward, slower, still. A little farther on, the greenhouse changes. The tall leaves give way to smaller pots arranged on wooden shelves, each one filled with herbs that release a clean, comforting scent into the air. You recognize some of them only by feeling. Something fresh and bright, something earthy and warm, something soft that reminds you of quiet kitchens and open windows after rain. The shelves are simple and carefully kept. A lantern rests low among the pots, lighting the undersides of leaves and casting delicate shadows across the glass behind them. You pause there, breathing in the gentle mixture of green scents. The air seems to clear your thoughts without asking you to think. It simply makes more space inside you. Space for quiet, space for rest, space for sleep to come nearer. The herb shelves lead into a wider chamber. Here, the roof rises higher, and the glass above seems almost lost in the dark blue of the rainy night. Wooden beams cross overhead, softened by climbing plants and warm lantern light. The sound of rain is fuller here, spreading across the panes in a gentle, constant murmur. You stop in the centre of the chamber and look around. The greenhouse is quiet, but not empty. It is full of small presences, leaves, roots, pots, lanterns, water, mist, all of them resting together beneath the glass. You feel no need to name every plant or understand every path. It is enough to be here, enough to stand in the warm green hush and let the night hold itself around you. Near the edge of the path, you notice a scatter of tiny lights. At first, they look like reflections from the lanterns, but when you look closer, you see small plants growing among the moss, each one tipped with a faint blue-green glow. They are no larger than wildflowers, and yet they light the stones around them with the gentlest radiance. There is nothing dramatic about them, no sudden magic, only a quiet brightness, as natural here as dew. You crouch your attention toward them, without needing to crouch your body, letting your gaze rest on their small, patient shine. The little lights seem to breathe with the greenhouse, brightening slightly, softening again, a slow rhythm, almost like sleep, and you feel your own breathing answer it. A veil of mist drifts across the path ahead. You walk into it slowly, and the lanterns become blurred golden shapes, floating among leaves and glass. The mist is warm, not cold, and it touches your skin as lightly as breath. For a moment the greenhouse seems to lose its edges. The path is still beneath you, the plants are still nearby, but everything is softened, as though the world has been painted in water and light. You keep moving at the same easy pace. There is no need to see far ahead. Only the next stone, the next lantern, the next gentle breath. Sometimes, you think, this is how rest begins. Not all at once, but by allowing the edges of things to blur until nothing feels sharp anymore. Through the mist, you find a small, resting nook tucked between two tall plants. A simple wooden chair sits there with a folded blanket across one arm and a lantern glowing on the floor beside it. It looks deeply inviting, the kind of place where someone might sit for a while and listen to rain until their thoughts became slow and harmless. You pause, appreciating it, but you know this is not quite where the path is leading you. This is only one of the greenhouse's many quiet comforts. A place to rest, perhaps, but not the heart of the dream. Still, you let yourself imagine sitting there for a moment, wrapped in the blanket, surrounded by leaves and golden light. The thought alone is enough to make you feel warmer. The path narrows beyond the little chair, curving between ferns that brush softly against the stones. The lanterns behind you become smaller, their warm light fading into the mist. Ahead, the green glow becomes clearer again, guiding you without words. You follow it because it feels easy to follow, because every part of this place seems to understand that you are tired, and that tiredness does not need to be fought. It only needs somewhere safe to go. The ferns lean close around the path. Their leaves are fine and delicate, holding droplets like tiny glass beads. You pass through them slowly, feeling the greenhouse become quieter still, not empty, not silent, only deeper, as though you are walking into the soft center of the night. An archway appears ahead, formed from old metalwork and climbing vines. It looks as though it has grown there over many years, shaped partly by hands and partly by the plants themselves. The glass above it is fogged with warmth. Small leaves trail from the frame. A lantern hangs just to one side, lighting the entrance with a gentle gold glow. Beyond the archway, another chamber waits. You can see only pieces of it through the mist. Leaves, stone, hanging light, and the suggestion of more space than should fit inside the greenhouse. You stop at the threshold and take a slow breath. There is that familiar feeling again, the sense that you are crossing into somewhere quieter than quiet, somewhere kept for sleep. Then you pass beneath the arch. On the other side is a room of ferns. They rise around you in soft green layers, some tall and graceful, others low and feathery, filling the chamber with the quiet shape of shelter. The floor is edged with moss. Low lanterns rest between stones, their light glowing upward through the delicate fronds. Across the glass walls, the rain makes slow-moving shadows. Everything here feels close and protected. The fern room has a hush, unlike the rest of the greenhouse, a hush that seems to gather beneath each leaf and settle there. You walk carefully, not because anything is fragile, but because the room feels worthy of gentleness. Your steps slow even more. Your breathing follows. The world becomes green, warm, and soft around you. A narrow stream runs through the fern room. You hear it before you see it, a soft thread of water moving over smooth stones. A small bridge crosses it, simple and low, just wide enough for one unhurried person. You step onto it and pause halfway across. Below, the water reflects the lanterns in broken golden lines. Tiny leaves drift on the surface, moving so slowly they hardly seem to move at all. The sound of the stream joins the rain above the glass, and together they make a lullaby of water in different forms, falling, flowing, resting. You listen for a moment, letting the sound pass through you without needing to hold it. Then you cross the rest of the bridge, softer than before. Beyond the bridge, the chamber opens into a long glass corridor. Lanterns hang along its length, each one glowing softly enough to guide the way without disturbing the darkness outside. Plants press against the panes from both sides, their leaves blurred by condensation and rain. The corridor feels calm and dreamlike, as though it belongs not to a house or a garden, but to the space between waking and sleep. At the far end, the green glow waits again, clearer now, but still gentle. You feel no surprise when the path leads you toward it. By now the greenhouse has earned your trust. It has asked nothing of you. It has only opened, one quiet space at a time, allowing you to move deeper whenever you are ready. At the end of the glass corridor, you reach another opening. This one has no door, only a wide threshold framed by leaves and warm light. Beyond it, the greenhouse glows more deeply than before, green and gold mingling in the mist, like the last light of a dream before sleep. You cannot yet see the whole chamber, only the beginning of another path, the shapes of larger plants and lanterns hanging like quiet stars among the leaves. The air that drifts from within is warmer, softer, and faintly sweet. You pause at the entrance, knowing without needing to be told that the heart of the greenhouse is close now. Behind you, the rain continues across the glass. Ahead, the light waits patiently, and you step forward, ready to go deeper. You step through the wide threshold and into the heart of the greenhouse. The air changes almost immediately. It becomes warmer, slower, and softer, as though this chamber has been holding its breath for a very long time. The stone path continues ahead, shining faintly beneath a veil of mist. On either side, larger plants rise in peaceful layers, their leaves broad and dark and glossy from the damp air. Lanterns hang among vines overhead, glowing with a gentle gold that mingles with the green light hidden among the plants. Nothing moves quickly here. Even the mist seems to drift more slowly. You feel as though you have entered a room made not only of glass and leaves, but of quiet itself. The greenhouse has led you here carefully, one soft step at a time. Above you, the roof rises into a tall glass dome. The panes are dark with rain, silvered here and there by moonlight hidden behind the clouds. Water slips down the glass in slow wandering lines, gathering at the old metal ribs before falling softly out of sight. Vines climb those ribs as if they have been growing there for years, curling around the frame in patient green spirals. Below them, lanterns burn steadily, their warm light reaching upward until it fades into the cool blue dark beyond the glass. You stand beneath it all and feel very small, but in the most comforting way. Small like a seed beneath soil, small like a thought before sleep, held by something wider, older and kinder than waking life. The path ahead is edged with moss and tiny, luminous plants. Their soft, blue-green points of light glow close to the ground, no brighter than fireflies resting among leaves. They guide the stones without demanding your attention. You follow them easily, letting each little glow become a quiet marker in the mist. The ferns here are finer and darker than before, their fronds overlapping like soft feathers. Above them, the lanterns glow in golden circles, but even those circles are blurred by the warm haze in the air. The chamber feels deeper than it should, as if the greenhouse has folded the night gently around itself to make room for more peace. You keep walking, and each step feels less like travelling and more like being drawn toward rest. At the centre of the chamber, you find a circular pool of dark water. It is set low into the stone floor, bordered by moss and small plants whose leaves glow faintly at the edges. The water is nearly still. Only now and then does a droplet fall from somewhere high above, touching the surface with the lightest sound. When it does, the lantern reflections tremble and stretch, then slowly return to themselves. You stand beside the pool and watch the quiet rings widen across the water. There is no hurry in them, no effort. They simply move outward until they are gone. The sight feels soothing in a way you do not need to explain. A little movement, a little stillness, a return to calm. Around the pool, pale flowers grow in gentle clusters. Their petals are open to the warm greenhouse air, soft white with faint green light gathered at their centres. They seem to glow in answer to the water, as though each reflection has become a blossom, and each blossom has become a little piece of moonlight. You notice how quiet they are, not still in the lifeless sense, but restful, as if each flower is slowly breathing with the night. The scent here is delicate and sweet. It drifts across the pool, mingling with damp stone, moss, and leaves. You breathe it in without trying to hold on to it. The fragrance comes and goes like a calm thought, softly arriving, softly fading, leaving only peace behind. Near the pool, a small wooden table waits among the plants. On it rests a cup of tea, still warm, with a thin ribbon of steam drifting into the lantern light. Beside it lies a folded cloth and a small bundle of herbs tied with simple string. There is no sign of who placed them there. And yet, like everything in the greenhouse, they feel quietly intentional. Not surprising, not strange, only kind. The steam curls upward and disappears into the mist, carrying a soft herbal scent that seems made for tired minds and heavy eyes. You do not need to drink it for it to comfort you. Its warmth is enough. Its presence is enough. A small promise that this place knows how to care for anyone who enters gently. You turn toward the glass wall. Outside, the garden is dark and softened by rain. Leaves press near the panes, blurred by water and night, moving only slightly beneath the gentle weather. Inside the glass, lanterns reflect back at you in warm, floating shapes. For a moment, the outside and inside seem to overlap. Rain and warmth, darkness and glow, garden and dream. You remember the bedroom window where the green light first appeared, far away and almost hidden. Now you are standing within that light, held inside the very glow that called to you. The thought feels peaceful, as though a small circle has closed. Not an ending yet, only a deepening. Beyond the pool, the path continues through a quieter part of the chamber. Here, many of the flowers are beginning to close. Petals fold inward with slow, sleepy grace. Leaves curl softly toward their stems. Small, glowing plants dim and brighten in a rhythm so gentle it feels almost like breathing. The greenhouse itself seems to be settling for the night. Not sleeping exactly, but preparing sleep for you, making the air warmer, making the lights softer, making each sound smaller than the last. The rain overhead becomes a distant murmur. The lanterns become low golden halos, and the path beneath your feet feels as though it knows exactly where to lead you next. The path grows narrower now. Moss gathers thickly between the stones, softening each edge and filling the spaces where the old floor has worn smooth. The plants lean close again, but there is nothing crowded or uneasy about it. They feel like curtains drawn around a quiet room. Ahead, the green-gold glow becomes warmer and more focused. You cannot yet see what waits there, only the suggestion of a smaller space tucked within the larger chamber. A place hidden by leaves, a place sheltered by glass, a place where the path seems ready to stop. You continue forward, slower than before, and feel the last little threads of wakefulness begin to loosen. The greenhouse has become very quiet now, quiet enough for sleep to hear you coming. Then you see it. A simple wooden daybed rests beneath the glass, tucked into a peaceful alcove of leaves and lantern light. It is not grand, and that is part of its comfort. It is low and quiet, made of warm wood, with light linen pillows and a soft blanket folded across the end. A small lantern glows nearby, resting on the stone floor beside a pot of trailing vines. Above the bed, rain moves softly across the glass roof. Around it, the plants form a gentle shelter, leaving the space open enough to breathe, but enclosed enough to feel held. You know at once that this is where the greenhouse has been leading you. Not to a secret, not to an answer, only to rest. You move closer to the daybed. The linen pillows look cool and soft, slightly rumpled as though they have been waiting patiently for you. The blanket is textured and warm, folded with simple care. Lantern light touches the wood and the stone floor, turning every surface gentle. There is something deeply reassuring about the smallness of this place. The greenhouse is vast and dreamlike behind you, full of chambers, corridors, pools, and glowing leaves. But here, everything becomes simple. A bed, a blanket, a lantern, rain overhead, green life all around. You feel your tiredness arrive fully now, not as something heavy to resist, but as something welcome, something natural, something allowed. You sit at the edge of the daybed for a moment. The wood is steady beneath you, warm from the air around it. The blanket rests close by, soft and easy, while the lantern beside the bed glows with a low, patient flame. You let the quiet gather. There is no need to think about the path behind you now. The bedroom, the hallway, the garden, the greenhouse door, the winding stones, the pool, the flowers, all of it has brought you here. Each place has become part of the same gentle motion, a slow turning inward, a softening, a letting go. And now, at the edge of this waiting bed, there is nothing left to do but rest. You lie down slowly. The daybed receives your weight without a sound. The pillow is cool beneath you, and the blanket settles lightly around the edges of your awareness. Above, the glass roof rises into the rainy dark, crossed by vines and old metal beams. Lanterns glow at the edges of your vision, warm and blurred. Rain traces delicate paths across the panes, each drop joining another, then another, until they drift beyond sight. You do not need to follow them for long. Your eyes can rest anywhere now, on the glass, on the vines, on the soft glow of the lanterns. Everywhere you look, the greenhouse offers the same quiet message. You are safe to sleep. The lantern nearest the bed begins to glow a little lower, not going out, only softening, as though it understands that brightness is no longer needed. Nearby leaves shine faintly in the green light, their surfaces touched with tiny beads of water. A vine trails down from above, perfectly still in the warm air. The mist thins and gathers, moving almost in time with your breath. You feel the whole greenhouse becoming slower around you. The plants do not watch in a way that feels strange. They simply keep you company, quietly alive, quietly present. As your body rests more deeply, the edges of the chamber begin to blur, and the lantern light becomes soft enough to dream by. Rain continues to move across the roof. From here, lying beneath the glass, it sounds even softer than before. The drops gather and slide, making delicate shadows that drift over the vines. Lantern reflections tremble faintly in the panes above you. Sometimes they look like small stars, sometimes like fireflies caught in glass, sometimes only like warm light, blurred by tired eyes. You let the sound of the rain become the center of everything, not a sound to listen to carefully, only a sound to rest inside. It fills the greenhouse, it fills the night, it fills the spaces between thoughts until there is very little left to hold on to. From the daybed, you can still see part of the path that brought you here. It curves away between the plants, fading into mist and lantern glow. The stones are wet and dark, shining faintly where the light touches them. Beyond them are the chambers you pass through, though now they feel far away, like scenes from a dream already beginning to soften. The herb shelves, the moonflowers, the pool, the bridge, the glass corridor, all of them remain somewhere behind you, quiet and peaceful, but you no longer need to return to them. They have done what they came to do. They have led you gently away from the day, and now the path itself seems to rest. Beside the bed, the small lantern glows lower still. Its light rests on the folded blanket, on the rim of a terracotta pot, on the curve of a leaf hanging nearby. Everything it touches becomes warm and quiet. You feel the blanket close enough to be comforting, the pillow beneath you cool enough to soothe, the air around you warm enough to keep every muscle soft. Your breathing has grown slow now, so slow that you almost do not notice it. In, out. A pause, another breath. The greenhouse seems to breathe with you, matching your rhythm with its mist and rain and dimming lights. There is nothing to solve, nothing to remember, nothing to prepare. Only this moment, becoming softer. The little green lights among the plants begin to blur at the edges. They no longer seem only like leaves or flowers or tiny glowing stems. They become something softer than that. Small stars caught low in the mist. A quiet sky growing from the greenhouse floor. Lanterns float above them in warm golden circles, and the glass roof fades into shadow and rain. You let your eyes grow heavy. The difference between looking and dreaming becomes less important. The greenhouse does not change all at once. It simply becomes less separate from sleep. The lights drift, the rain hushes, the plants breathe, and you feel yourself drifting with them, slowly and safely, as though sleep is not something you fall into, but somewhere you are carried. The alcove around you grows hazier. The lantern is still there, but softer now, its glow wrapped in mist. The leaves are still there, but their shapes have become gentle and indistinct. Rain still moves across the glass, though it sounds far away, as if falling at the edge of another world. You are warm beneath the blanket. The pillow holds you easily. The daybed feels as steady as the earth and as soft as a dream. You do not need to know whether you are still in the greenhouse or already somewhere deeper. The answer would not matter now. What matters is the quiet, the warmth, the slow fading of thought, the peaceful certainty that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The greenhouse grows still around you. One by one, the little lights among the plants soften into darkness. The lantern beside the bed lowers to a final gentle glow. Above, the rain continues across the glass, quiet and patient, keeping time for the sleeping world. The flowers rest. The ferns fold into shadow. The pool at the centre of the chamber lies calm and dark beneath its fading reflections. And you, held by warmth and mist and the hush of leaves, let yourself drift the rest of the way. There is no need to follow the path back tonight. No need to open your eyes. No need to carry anything with you. The midnight greenhouse will keep glowing softly in its hidden corner of the garden. And you can sleep now, deeply, peacefully, safely, until morning.